I think I'm just going to end up shaving it. Anyway, it's nice to know I could, lighting this. Anyway, hi, how's it going, everybody? It is Sunday, December 22nd. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. My question for everybody is, where were you 10 years ago today? I know exactly where I was. I was working for PC's Furniture out of Cody, Wyoming. I was their stove installer slash chimney sweep. No, you cannot rub me for good luck. And I was working up the North Fork on a house. People from California, it was their summer cabin. They never worried about having heat before, and their fireplace. As I scratched my eye, isn't that attractive on camera? Their house wasn't set up for use in the wintertime. It was strictly a summer cabin. There was a fireplace there, but it wasn't functional for heat. It was more for ambiance. So it was my job to go up there and put in a wood burning insert into their fireplace. This little cabin, 2,500 square feet, did have electric baseboard heat in it, but it was nothing that could keep the house at a comfortable temperature, keep the bedrooms at a comfortable temperature, but the rest of the house was just cold. And it was my job to do that. So I get up on job site with a kid that had never worked any kind of construction ever before. He's only other jobs he ever had was working fast food, which he probably wasn't any good at that either. And we get to this house. We're installing a Lopi wood burning insert. Kind of heavy stove, but a good quality heating stove. It was just something I could take pride in installing. Had to line the whole chimney, the whole 9 yards. And got there. As with any job, first thing I did was always crawl up on the roof and make a measurement of the flue pipe up there so I could get my template made for cutting my sheet metal and whatnot. Climbed up on the roof, got everything measured out, and it was very cold that day. It was, I don't know, somewhere between 7 and 12 above. Little wind, which is kind of ironic for the hurricane up on the North Fork that always blows. But we were down in this little valley in this particular place, and wind wasn't blowing bad, and sun was still out, and we figured we had about a good 45 minutes to an hour of daylight left um, to get the outside of the project done, then we could work on the inside. Came back down off the roof with my measurements, got all my stuff cut out, went to climb back up on the roof again, and by this time it had started snowing. So the deck where the ladder was sitting was slippery, and the roof was slippery. So it made a wonderful combination. Had the kid holding the ladder. I got 1 foot on the roof, still had 1 foot on the ladder, and he decided this was the most opportune time for him to light a cigarette. Long story short, gravity took over. I came down approximately 10 feet head first, landed on that palm. Can't hardly see the scar there anymore. And I landed in a pile of heap on this deck. First thing I remember the kid saying to me was, "Did that hurt? Because it looked like it hurt," which is one of my favorite lines now. He wasn't trying to be sarcastic, he was actually being serious. That's how truly, I don't want to call him retarded, because retarded is an insult to retarded people, and this kid was just plain stupid. So we bucked it up. I ended up calling the owner of the business to come up and help me finish. He wasn't able to get there until about 5, and it took me an hour to do a 15-minute job, because my left arm wasn't really functioning at that point, and trying to get this kid to do something, anything, was not possible. Finally left that job site about 7 o'clock that night, 2 hours late. But people had heat when we left, or they would have heat the next day when they got there after we left. And here we are 10 years later. 10 years, 10 surgeries, 3 kids, another marriage, 2 trips across the country. Three computers, and a lot different outlook on life. So, I guess my thought to you is, one, where have you been the last 10 years? What have you done? Have you made a difference? Do people enjoy having you around? Do they not enjoy having you around? And I guess look at the quality of the people who don't like you around. Are they even worth bothering over? Now, in the last 10 years, I've made a few friends, ended up with a couple of enemies, and quite frankly, the enemies I have, I could really care less if they lived or died, which is probably not the Christian thing to be, but nevertheless, I am human. So as you go around this Christmas, reflect on yourself. Reflect on where you've been and where you're going, and if what you've done has really mattered. Now, it's not for me to decide what I've done has mattered or not. I guess that's one of those things that is up for popular opinion. But I'm not asking for me. I'm not even asking you to reply to this one. Think about yourself. Think about where you are, what you could be doing. Because life is very fragile. I've lost one good friend in the last 10 years. Almost lost another one, but he bounced back, which I knew he would. I wasn't worried about him. I was worried about his well-being, but I wasn't worried about him leaving, because I knew he was too tough to go. Did lose my father-in-law, but all good things must come to an end on that one. Lost a child. Had no choice in that one. But in it I did gain 2 beautiful daughters. A very loving, understanding, compassionate wife. And a different outlook on life. So if nothing else, I hope your outlook on life has changed in the last 10 years. And in 10 years, I'm probably going to sit here and do a 20th anniversary video of how life is different. And I hope you're here watching it also. Toodles.